In this presentation, you will learn about Paul Alexander Baran. He was a professor of economics at Stanford from 1949 until his death. His important works were Political Economy of Growth and Monopoly Capital, which were co-authored with Paul M. Sweezy, an important critic of capitalism. Monopoly Capital was basically criticism of capitalism, especially in United States. He was an expert in comparative economic systems, which are capitalism and socialism, and considered himself a Marxist. Through Baran's works, he was trying, or rather, he was testing the history of capitalism. He asked questions like, when would capitalism die? He was one of those scholars who was ready to criticize capitalism. The American education system of those days promoted capitalism. Baran was critical and inspired others too to see a different viewpoint. He published several important works like Political Economy of Underdevelopment, Political Economy of Growth, Reflections of Underconsumption, Marxism and Psychoanalysis, Commitment of the Intellectual, Reflections on the Cuban Revolution, Monopoly Capital, The Longer View, Political Economy of Neocolonialism. Theory of Underdevelopment. Paul Baran's book, Political Economy of Underdevelopment, mentions that economic development has historically always brought a transformation in society's economy, society, and politics. Economic development has also been led by classes and groups who are interested in a new economic and social order. These groups try to preserve their status quo in society. He defines economic growth as an increase in per capita outcome of material goods. He stresses the need for net investment. He outlines three types of economic surpluses. First is the actual economic surplus. Second, potential economic surplus, which can be produced if the following are eliminated: excess consumption by middle and upper layers of society, unproductive workers, irrationality and waste in the economy, and unemployment. Thirdly, planned economic surplus. In other words, in an economic system with a hierarchy of classes where economic and political power is concentrated at the top, the output and income beyond what is consumed by most people mostly goes only to the highest class. This extra portion is what he called economic surplus, a form of savings or income left after consumption. In a feudalistic system, there is little incentive to use the proceeds of this type of surplus to buy more tools and equipment for production of output and income. Capitalism gives incentives to reinvest in production. The surplus developed in the colonies was sent to the mother country, and the less developed countries was where production actually took place. The surplus that existed in the third world countries depended on capitalism. The goal was to extract the underdeveloped countries instead of actually developing them. Thus, the underdeveloped country did not grow. This led to a capitalist mode of production where they could thrive on businesses and expand themselves in other countries. He adds developed countries try to bring underdeveloped countries through charities from time to time so that development takes place. But this is not sufficient for actual development or well being of the people. As any investment will result in returns, it would profit the investors. but not the underdeveloped country. Thank you for watching the presentation.